Rory McIlroy is going to have to bring his A game again this weekend if he wants a shot at winning the PGA Championship again. Our New York Post sports columnist Mark Cannizzaro is on to talk about the storylines coming out of Quail Hollow. Mark, thanks for hopping on with us this morning. We've done these golf interviews before. Never heard so much buzz talking about a course, and that being Quail Hollow. Six-time tour winner Hunter Mahan compared it to Kim Kardashian, saying that it's very modern, beautiful, and well kept, but it lacks soul or character. He should expect something from Kris Jenner pretty soon in the mail. And then Justin Thomas basically called it basic. You've covered this course before. Where do you think it compares to other courses on the tour in terms of the challenge of playing it and navigating it?
I mean, I think it's a snappy line from Mahan, but courses are to the eye of the beholder, Brandon. And I've covered a number of tournaments here. The Wells Fargo is a PGA Tour regular event here. Now it's called the Truist. And I've walked this golf course a number of times. I like it. It looks like a really fun place to play, which I've never played it. But it's not an old classic course. They're just coming from a Tillinghast course down in Philly. Last week's event, which is old classic style. This is a big ballpark. This place is. It's close to 7,700 yards. It's going to favor the big hitters, specifically this week because it's been raining all week. That makes the big hitter more of an advantage here. So yeah, I understand what Mahan's saying. I still think it's visually. I think on television, the viewers are going to love watching it. There's some very cool holes here. The last three holes they call the Green Mile, very dramatic holes. There's a creek running down all the way down the left hand side of 18. There's a water to the left of the par three down the stretch, which is forces everybody to play away from it. I don't really have a problem with the course. I get what Hunter Mahan was saying, but I think it's just a snappy line for television.
All right, and it sounds like a challenging course, and you just mentioned that the big hitters come into championship week with a considerable advantage. You mentioned the rain, but can you break it down to us guys who are struggling on the course? Can you break down why they have this advantage?
Well, I mean, basically because first of all, the length of this place is significant. The other thing is, Brandon, it absolutely. I've been here since Sunday. It's been raining essentially since Sunday. It wasn't even supposed to rain this morning, and it was raining when I got here this morning. So that makes there's no roll now off the tee. So the shorter hitters are not going to get a little extra yardage. Players like Rory, who's won here four times already, carries the ball further than anybody in the sport. Same thing for Bryson DeChambeau, Scotty Scheffler, world number one, all long big hitters. And so the fact that you're not going to get any roll is a huge advantage to the larger hitters. I'll be stunned if somebody who's not, in the top echelon of long hitters wins this week because, it's going to be difficult for them to keep up. But it's just hard not to see Rory. To me, Rory's the fascinating story here because of the Masters win. The career Grand Slam completion. We just spoke to him this morning. He said, he's probably never gonna have a moment that fits, what he just went through at Augusta. And, he has no questions to answer about his game, about his career. He said, I've achieved everything I've ever wanted to achieve. So where does that go from here? Does that liberate him to just freewheel it? If that's the case, Rory's always been a big freewheeler player. He's always played best when he just let it go. Now he has no reason not to. I mean, there's just really no pressure on him for the rest of his career. And, so does he remain as hungry to keep winning? Does this free him up to just, freewheel it? I think this week will be a really, really good litmus test to that.
And I wonder if he'll ever experience this professional jealousy again. You know how things can get competitive between these guys. And in one of your articles on the Post website, you said both Rory and Jordan Spieth have had professional jealousy. I would love to use this phrase in my everyday life, Mark. So what is that, and is it good for the game? And I guess what do the players say about it?
Well, Brandon, it's great for the game, and it almost sounds a little petty to because you use that word jealousy kind of thing. Why they're guys sniping at each other or something like that. It's not that way at all. It's more and more of an envious situation. I spoke to Justin Thomas yesterday about it, and he was talking about, how listen, if one of his buddies wins, he's happy for that guy, but he also wants to be, wishes he's the one that was the guy that was lifting the trophy. And, as players like Scotty Scheffler, who won 7 times last year, and Rory now with the career Grand Slam, as these guys push forward and do these remarkable things on the golf course, it motivates their peers. And that's kind of what that professional jealousy is about. Jordan Spieth, for example, is the next guy on the list that has a chance to win the career Grand Slam. All he needs is a PGA Championship. If he wins this week, he's done what Rory McIlroy did last month. So Jordan talked about how motivated he was to see Rory complete that, and he'd like to certainly follow up and do that this week. This will be his 9th try to complete the career Grand Slam. He hasn't won a major championship since 2017. So, that's really what I meant about that. Justin Thomas, for example, watched his buddy Jordan Spieth win a bunch early on in his career when Justin wasn't winning. So he was kind of jealous about that. And then it flipped a little bit. Justin started winning a bunch, and Spieth has kind of scuffled to win in the last few years. So it's a little bit reversed now. So everybody, it just pulls these players along and it gives them a little more motivation. And that's kind of what I meant in that column about the professional jealousy.
So Rory's going for PGA Championship number 5. Jordan is trying to get on his level by winning the PGA Championship. You've got world number 1, Scotty Scheffler, who's going to be on the course as well. $1 million question, who's your favorite going into this PGA Championship? Is it safe to say that it's Rory's to win?
I think it is. I always hate to pick the chalk when I'm making predictions. I always do for the major championships in the post. We do our top 5 with our predicted winner. I just feel there's no choice but to go chalk here because it's just even though it seems too obvious. I mean, he's won here 4 times. Particularly with the rain and whatnot, which we referenced before, I think it makes it more of an advantage. Then you throw on top of that his achievement last month. He's on top of the world right now. Has nothing to lose. He's playing with house money. So, I could see him winning this thing by half a dozen shots.
It's going to be a great one this weekend with a lot of great competitors in the building or on the course. Mark, thanks for hopping on with us.
Anytime. Thanks.